You asked for it, and today we're making Mrs. Grilltop Experience's flatbread recipe. Nearly 8 out of 5 dentists agree that homemade is better than anything that you'll find in the bread aisle over at the grocery store. Now this recipe is easy enough that even I can follow along, so let's hand it over to Mrs. Grilltop Experience to show us how it's done.
Put all of the ingredients into a bowl. Add 1½ cups of water, 1 teaspoon of yeast, 3 1/4 to 3 1/2 cups of all-purpose flour, or you could substitute a cup of whole wheat flour, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt, and 1/4 cup of potato flour.
Mix it by hand after you have all the ingredients in the bowl to prevent covering your kitchen with flour, which is something I've been known to do. You want to stop once you have a shaggy dough. We're using a regular stand mixer and a bread hook. So set it to low and let it knead for about 10 minutes. If you don't have a mixer, you could always do this by hand, but it is a ton of work. Now the dough will soften as it's kneaded, and it'll be ready to go for the next step. Take the hook out and form the dough into a smooth ball. You can do that by grabbing the edges of the dough and folding it underneath repeatedly. Stretch it and fold it under until it's nice and smooth, which will probably take you about half a minute or so. Then put it in an oiled container and give it a spin to make sure the dough ball is coated in oil, which will keep it from sticking during the rise. Cover it and let it rise for 2 hours.
Now if you don't have 2 hours until the time you want to eat dinner, what you could do is make it the night before, throw it in the fridge, and then take it out about an hour and a half before you want to start forming it into balls. And that'll save you a little bit of time because you don't have to worry about the prep work, and you'll get dinner on the table just a little bit faster.
After the rise, stretch the dough slightly to make it easier to cut the dough ball into 8 equal-sized pieces. Do your best to keep them all about the same size so the end product are about equal too. Smooth them out using the same method you used with the large dough ball before you roll them on the counter to make them perfectly smooth. Then repeat the process for all 8 pieces. Roll them out to 8-inch rounds on a floured surface so they don't stick, and do your best to make them circle-shaped even though that's pretty tough. Now you may find that they need a second rolling if they contract a little bit after they've sat for a minute or two. The grill is just under 500 degrees Fahrenheit and we have the pizza stone preheated. Put one of the flatbreads directly on the stone and then shut the lid. Start a timer and get ready to flip after about 1.5 minutes. Now this first flatbread is like the first pancake. You're going to use it to make sure that your temperatures are correct before you make the rest of them. After 1.5 minutes on the other side, this flatbread is done. You can speed things up by getting a system going where you have 2 cooking at the same time. Every 1.5 minutes, you'll take one off, flip one to the other side, and add a fresh dough. When they're finished, go ahead and put them in a clean towel to keep them warm. Now, I found it was a bit easier to cook 2 at a time so they're both getting done at the same time. Go ahead and try both methods to see which one works better for you. If you don't want to grill the flatbreads, go ahead and cook them in a dry skillet over medium-high heat. This process will take a little bit longer because you're only heating them from the one side. About 2 minutes per side is about right, but the best indicator is when the dough will puff up right when it's ready to flip. Since this is Mrs. Grilltop's recipe, we're making the wraps her way by grilling up some portobello mushrooms covered in garlic salt and olive oil. I wouldn't normally cook them on the grill stone, but removing a 500-degree stone isn't a great option. Give them a flip every 5 minutes or so until they're done, the way you like. Now I'm not going to lie to you, I prefer the chicken over the mushrooms and the sprouts, but this lighter option is there for those who want it.
And just like that, you made some flatbread. Now if you haven't seen my chicken wrap video, I'm going to put it right over here so you can watch it next.